Yeah, I know you don't always get to choose who you have in your life and what they get to be in your life. You know, you can't choose all your neighbors unless you get a acreage of property, but then you still got to watch your P's and Q's. And I know you got to get along with people eventually, but for the most part, I usually get along with people. It's when they treat me stupid I don't like. My name's Tina Walker. I also go by TNT or Mom on the streets. And of course, my kitty, FF. I don't mind being a part of communities, really. I mean, I do pretty much stay to myself as much as possible, but staying to yourself, I'm an isolator and a stuffer. I've been that all my life. I really, you know, I really didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up. But I mean, I've worked through a lot of it. Oh, I did paint that. One of the staff members at 415 kept asking me, you got to paint. You got to paint with us. I don't like painting. I don't like doing that. You got to paint with us. Oops. And so I finally painted, and that's what I painted. The tiny homes helped me out a lot. You know, they got me off the street at a time I really need to be off there. I mean, I'm getting too old for this. You know, one of the things that we asked for when people was going around asking us, what would it take to get you off the street? Well, foundation. That's what we needed, is a foundation. Someplace we could put our belongings and not have to worry about them being stolen, ruined, or thrown away, you know? That's what that was. It's a foundation for you to get on your feet. You can take care of the little things that you're struggling with that lead to that big thing you want, is a place to live. Well, but you can't do it without your ID, your Social Security, your income. You can't do it without any of that. Or mailing address. Well, this gives you that. That was the biggest step. That there was the biggest step. Challenges? We would have people drive by and cuss at us or tell us something, you know. Now we got this bullying in school, and you guys are having problems. What do you think you guys are doing when you're driving by and yelling out those names to us and stuff while your kids are in the car? You're giving them the bullying act. Think about what you're doing. We are people too. We're not animals, we're people. You know, seeing somebody flying a sign at Leverage Park, he was a veteran, and he's flying a sign, and people don't understand what you place on that sign is what you're asking for. You can't get help if you don't tell somebody what it is you need help with, what it is you need that help. You can't just say, I need help, because they don't know what you need. But when you put on a sign, homeless, bad, anything helps. God bless, thank you. Anything means somebody can go by, flip you off, cuss at you, call you names, and all you can do is smile and say thank you. You can't react back at them with the violence and the yelling and the screaming, calling them names. You said anything helps. And this vet could not understand it. Well, they kicked me off. I can't go back up there. The cop said I go to jail. People are calling me names and flipping me off. And I said, you got one word on there that says, that's okay. That's when the state patrol officer pulled up and said, sorry, you got to go off. You cannot, don't let me catch you here again for the rest of the day, or I'll take you to jail. And the guy was so mad about it, but he just didn't get it. Anything helps is what you're asking for. One of the things is people don't want to be forced to do something, you know, and I get it, you know, in order to go forward, you got to take care of doing some things, you know, but if it's something that, like mental health, it's hard for me to keep going over and over and over on things of what's going on. If I've already gone through the mental health, I'm at a good point. In fact, I was asked to do an assessment, mental health assessment, and I said, I can't do that right now. I just went over a hoop here on my birthday that was really, really hard. My mom was murdered in 2004. I struggled with it a lot. I mean, there wasn't a day that I didn't talk to my mom or go to help her, to go to appointments or help her around her place. But my mom was one of my biggest things. When I lost her, I lost me. And then my son was illegally taken from me. And I couldn't fight that. I didn't know how to fight it. I just lost me, and then I lost my housing. And going back there at this point in time would not work for me because I just, this was a really big step, a big hump that I had to get over. And mental health would have been worse on me. It would have taken me so far back. I probably wouldn't be here now, and not in this place. And I see it every day with a lot of people. You know, you got your mental health, you got your treatments. I've got a friend that's just got through trying suicide again. And one of his problems is he's being required to go do a mental health assessment. He doesn't want to go back through it because it is painful. Some things are so painful. And rehashing over and over, it just, you can give me all the tools all day long, but there's not a therapist or mental health or any kind of counseling that would have got me through it than the people that I trusted and worked with in my life, actual peers, you know, not somebody that's way up there, got the schooling. If you got friends out there that are true friends, sometimes that is a support that's going to confront you and get you to wake up. And I've got to experience that. I used to tell everybody, you only have 5 friends in your life and they are going to be your true friend. No matter what, they'll always be there. But that's not true. There is a time where they will walk out of your life. You know, at first I was so angry because he walked out. I said, I know you didn't walk out for good. And boy, did you made me wake up to see something that I didn't realize myself. And that is, a friend will walk out when you need to change something and they can't continue watching you go through it. Now I can go to the graves. I scared myself out of the cemetery. My mom always said, do not go to the cemetery after dusk. Okay. And I was in the right frame of mind and everything. There was nothing bothering me. And I went over to go, trim the grass around the headstones and that. And I was sitting there, just kind of like having my little words. I go out there and I trim it and everything. It was getting a little bit more towards dusk and starting to get dark. And all of a sudden I heard this little jingle and it sounded like keys, for like the caretaker, groundskeeper for the cemetery, right? I'm not thinking nothing of it, And I heard it again. I'm like, okay, well, Mom, guys, I think I'm going to go now because it sounds like they're going to come and tell me it's time to leave, And so I get everything together and I get to the car and I lock all the doors around me except the driver's side. And then I get ready to start the car and I hear that jingle again. It was my anklet that it had a bell on it. I sat there and laughed so hard. I know my mom and grandmother both were laughing at me. I could hear them laughing at me. Or laughing with me on that one.